my pleasure to introduce the moderators of the first panel of today. His Excellency, Ambassador Krzysztof Maria Szczerski, Permanent Representative of Poland to the United Nations, and Ms. Rawa Zogby, Deputy Permanent Representative of Lebanon to the United Nations.
Hello, good morning everyone. Just before we start our panel, I kindly ask our panelists to come to the first and second row and sit behind a microphone because they'll be speaking from the floor. So we'll give some minutes for our panelists to rearrange their seating and we'll start. Thank you.
Good. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. It's a great pleasure really to see you all in this GE hall and today's event. So, welcome to the first annual thematic panel of the 9th International Day of Women and Girls in Science, an event we are privileged to organize, entitled Women in Science Leadership for Peace and Security, a new era for sustainability. My name is Krzysztof Szczerski, I was introduced, and I'm the permanent representative of Poland to the United Nations, Poland being the country so proud of having Maria Skłodowska-Curie, because as some of you may know, Marie Curie was actually born Maria Skłodowska, and she was Polish, so it's like a role model of all girls and women in science, and we're so proud that she was Polish. I'm honored to co-moderate this session alongside with his esteemed colleague, also was introduced already, Ms. Rawa Zogby, the Deputy Permanent Representative of Lebanon to the United Nations. So today we gathered to explore the vital role of, that women and girls play in the fostering peace and security worldwide. In a world struggling with various challenges, from conflicts, humanitarian emergencies, to environmental crises, it is imperative to acknowledge and amplify women's contributions in decision-making and policy formulation. With some progress has been made, thanks in part to our collective efforts. Within the United Nations, there remains much work to be done to ensure gender parity in peace and conflict studies and initiatives. Women leadership still needs recognition. Throughout our discussion today, we will focus on the importance of increasing women's participation in politics and science, and how their unique perspectives can drive meaningful change. We will also delve into the significance of initiatives like the UN Security Council Resolution 1325 on women, peace and security, and the importance of the inclusion of all women and girls, also those with disabilities, in global affairs. We must harness this untapped resource of strong women as agents of change. By highlighting the expertise and leadership of women in science today, we aim to pave the way for a more peaceful and sustainable tomorrow. As Poland, a neighboring nation to Ukraine, we have witnessed firsthand the critical role played by women human rights defenders amidst the ongoing Russian aggression against Ukraine. Ukrainian women have been at the forefront of humanitarian efforts and have tirelessly advocated for the protection of all human rights and fundamental freedoms, standing strong against all efforts to undermine them. It is essential to ensure that continued involvement in all processes that affect their lives, security, freedoms and rights, while also providing them with the necessary protection, including from conflict-related sexual violence. Poland stands firm in its commitment to this cause, supporting women, human rights defenders and peace activists globally. I look forward to the insights and perspectives that will emerge from our distinguished panelists today and audience members alike. So without further ado, I will now hand over the floor to Rawa to introduce our first speaker. Rawa, please.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Christoph. It is my honor to share this moderation with you. I'd like to thank also the co-organizers and co-sponsors of this event, Rastid and Princess Nasreen Al-Hashemite. We will kick off our panel with some opening remarks, and we will first hear an address by Her Excellency Ms. Heda Samson, Ambassador and Deputy Head of the European Union Delegation to the United Nations. Her Excellency will focus on the link between science and peace and the importance of women's leadership in science for peace. She will present the EU's views on science for peace. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Excellencies and dear colleagues. Thank you very much to the co-organizers for bringing us together today to mark this very important day. The EU is very honored to be co-sponsoring this event this year, and I'm very happy to address you today in addition to the message that was delivered earlier by the EU Commissioner on Equality, Mrs. Dali. Dear colleagues, women have always played an essential role in driving innovation and progress in science and technology. This was demonstrated most recently by their role in the development of novel mRNA vaccines against COVID-19. Still, a lot of those accomplishments often remain unrecognized, and women and girls continue to be underrepresented in science. Yet, science and gender equality are both vital for the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, and for peace and security in particular. This is why the EU is committed to harnessing the power of science for the collective good and advancing the agenda of peace and sustainable development worldwide. Science can help us build links between societies and countries that do not otherwise entertain official relations. Even during the Cold War, scientists kept working together across each side of the Iron Curtain, beyond political or religious considerations. This is because scientific cooperation taps into the most basic interests of scientists and engineers, namely the desire to create new knowledge and technologies. Science is fundamentally an interactive, cooperative pursuit. The common language of science allows us to more easily cross cultures and borders. Science allows us to invent systems that place people at the center of our objectives. It can be argued that science is behind all the great advances, including tools that have a dual use nature. Drones, for example, can save lives in mountain rescues, but can also kill people from a distance. Ultimately, it's humans that are responsible for the use of the technology. Science has given us very powerful tools to build peace, and it's up to us to use them accordingly. Science, unlike politics, is a unifying force, but the full potential of science diplomacy can only be deployed if it is inclusive, therefore only if women can meaningfully participate, including in leadership positions. While more and more women are reaching senior levels in science and engineering, the aspiration of reaching gender equality is not yet fulfilled. Without increasing the share of women in scientific leadership positions, we will not reach those aspirational results of science for peace. Women should be able to fully participate in decision-making around science, including in the conceptualization, development, and implementation of new technologies. To achieve this objective, we need to collectively address the negative social norms, gender stereotypes, and systemic barriers to girls' education and women's lifelong learning opportunities in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Education is a catalyst for getting women into science. But women's participation in Science for Peace is not just about achieving equality for women and girls interested in science. It can and will also lead to more diverse ideas and ways of shaping future international security. It is only when including women in all their diversity, women of all backgrounds, who each have specific knowledge and experience to bring to the table, that we can help advance science as a positive force. Excellencies, dear colleagues, by promoting the use of science for sustainable development and peace, we aim to create a more equitable and prosperous world. It serves as a reminder of the transformative impact of science in shaping a brighter future for all. We know female role